It gives me great pleasure to introduce Mr. Glastonbury himself, Michael Eavis.
Thank you, thank you. I went to the Bath Blues Festival, in 1970. That was amazing. All West Coast American bands, Moody Blues, Led Zeppelin, the lot, Bob Dylan, Donovan, the whole lot. I just fall in love with a lovely girl from Glastonbury town. And we were all loved up and the music was perfect. And I've got the farm. I thought, my God, I can't go wrong with this one. I'll do it myself. So the day after, I was on the phone to the Colston Hall at Bristol to get a phone number for the Kinks, because they're number one with Lola. So I got the phone number off the girl on reception, and I phoned the Kinks and got them to play. 500 quid, you see. So that was my first booking in my life.
It's a pretty good deal, I think.
Well, it was, yeah, but they didn't turn up though.
Oh. What was the reason?
Because an article in the Medley Maker to say Kinks for mini festival, you see. And so they were number one up right across the world with Lola. And so why are we doing a mini festival, you see? So they phoned me up and said, well, what is it? I said, well, I've never done it before. This is my first attempt. I've got a stage and I've got the fields. And actually they weren't all that impressed with the fact that I was doing this show, you see. So they weren't convinced, and I stammered a bit and everything. I thought, well, so they thought, oh, he's a bit of a wally or something. So they pulled out. And so I was left with nothing. And I sold about 80 tickets at £1 each. And gave away free milk as well.
Free milk?
Free camping, free milk. And the whole thing was £1 for the 2 days, you see.
Yeah, that's a good deal. I'd go for
that. Yeah, but it was 1970, you see. And so I thought, oh my God, what should I do now? How in the hell am I going to face the public? And all the press, I had loads of press. But then I found the agent, he said, you know what? He said, I've got Mark Bolan going down to Butlin, a T-Rex. And he goes right by your farm gate. And for the same money, 500 quid. But they were absolutely incredible, actually. Such a good set that was. But then I had to tell them, I'm very sorry, I can't afford to pay you today, but I'll pay you £100 a month from my milk cheque. So I guarantee I will pay you in 5 months. So that's what I did. And so he was quite cross when he left, actually. He was cross when he came. He didn't like the look of the track. I was really uptight, but he did do a really fantastic set. And nearly 50 years later, I think that's one of the best sets I've ever had at the farm. It took 11 years before I made a profit.
Wow.
And after 11 years, I gave the money to CND, and so I made 20,000 quid. That's a fortune in those days, And so I phoned Bruce Kent and said, I got 20,000 quid for you. And so I gave him a cheque for the money. And then my accountant, he said, what do you do with the profit then? I said, I've given it all away. He said, yeah, but you can't do that, because it's not a charity anyway. And so I had to pay £7,000 tax on that 20 that I'd given away. So I still lost money. Yeah, after all that.
You said 3.5 million people try
and
get
actually
tickets.
Pre-registered now.
Yeah.
That's about 6% of the entire UK, including Scotland.
Want to come.
And Wales and Northern Ireland want to come. So it proves that we're doing something right. After all these years, we're still all working away at it like mad, and I've got fantastic people that are working for me, Paul McGuinness found me about 10 years ago. He said, Mike, he said the band want to play this year, and but I've been phoning them every year for, 30 years? But one year I didn't phone them, he phoned me. He said, the band want to play. I said, what, you two? He said, yeah, you two want to play. He said, will they get paid anything?
So they wanted to play that much, they were willing to maybe do it for free?
And he said, will they get paid anything? I said, yeah, of course they get paid something. People do understand now that they're not going to get the commercial rate for the gig. Well, they want to come and do it anyway, and they'll take as much as I can afford to pay them, because we're spending money right across the site,
I just wanted to know what your favourite Glastonbury was.
Well, every year is the one coming up is the favourite one. We're all working towards something better and something more magnificent and everything.
Is there like a special one in your heart that you remember?
Not really. No, the first one maybe, but it was quite painful because I lost a lot of money that first one, but it's quite depressing really. 79 was nice, with John Martin singing in 79 was quite magic really. Radiohead in 1997 was absolutely fantastic, and it's voted the best gig by the music press in the last 50 years, over and over again. Radiohead in 1997 at Glastonbury, and it was raining cats and dogs. It was raining steroids, it really was. And yet they still did a fantastic set. And I was standing there in pouring rain with my wife. I'd never been so wet in my life. I couldn't move away. So that was 97. Oasis in 94 were incredible. Absolutely brilliant, 94 Oasis. Because it was the start of their fame, really. And they got on so well, those two boys. It was fantastic in 94. But it never quite happened again.
Do you think you'd get a reunited Oasis back
I
one day?
don't think so. Now, we've got Liam's playing this year, but when he plays with Noah, sometimes they argue on stage and stuff, and it doesn't really work. But 94, it did work, and it was the best Oasis set I've ever seen in my life. And I'll never see that again. Never. I lost a few friends on that Corbyn thing. They said it's not about Labour Party. I said, well, no, it's about politics. And he's my man, that's all I can tell you. And I'm in a position to choose. But I'm not going to put Theresa May on the main stage, am I?
Although I think that would be quite an interesting moment. I'd like to see you do that.
No fear, no.